Life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination. This is a quote I hold close to my heart. A quote that reminds me of an experience like none other, a journey like none other. Every once in a while, I come across a story that transcends the page, something that elicits emotions I didn't know I could feel, and weaves them together in a beautiful symphony. One that gets me to laugh, gets me to cry, gets me to shout out in excitement, gets me to think, gets me to wonder, gets me inspired. And today, that's the kind of story I want to recommend to all of you. A story that is universally appreciated in the epic fantasy community, but one that I think deserves much, much more. A story that I believe will take the world by storm at one point or another, and one that will be remembered for years to come. Of course, this is my favorite story of all time. The most inspiring story you'll ever come across. This is the Stormlight Archive. Three words: personal, emotional, epic. These three words perfectly embody the Stormlight Archive and what it means to me. Personal, with its unique characters that breathe life into the pages. Characters whose struggles and triumphs are so well realized, so grounded that you just can't help but relate to them. Emotional, in its graceful storytelling that takes these characters and creates beautiful, terrifying, heartbreaking, tear-jerking, hopeful, inspiring moments. Epic, with its delicate ability to weave these characters and moments together on a grander, fantastical scale, masterfully building up to battles, sequences, and journeys that send chills down your spine. Stormlight is the definition of hype in every sense of the word. So, what is the Stormlight Archive? Well, it is an epic fantasy book series by author Brandon Sanderson, currently having 4 books in it: The Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, Oathbringer, and Rhythm of War. And already, I know a lot of you might be skeptical. A book series? Really? Yes. One that will surely get you hyped like none other, especially if you're into things like anime and manga. Brandon is the master of dynamic action scenes, touching character moments, badass character moments, mind-blowing twists, all in a massive, intricate, gorgeous world. So first, let me introduce you to the world of the Stormlight Archive. Welcome to Roshar. Here there exists a wide variety of cultures, from the warriors of Alethkar to the diplomats of Azir to the isolated folks of Shinovar. Roshar is thriving with diversity. However, each of these nations have their own priorities and agendas, being far from united. Other than the humans, there also exists the unique Parshendi, a group of people who speak in tunes and rhythms, the main antagonists of this first book. And finally, we have mysterious entities that are found in every corner of Roshar, the Spren. And so, our journey begins in the Shattered Plains, a territory unclaimed by any, where a war is being waged between 2 opposing parties. The Kingdom of Alethkar, known for its incredible military might, against the quote-unquote barbaric Parshendi. The Parshendi not but 7 years ago had assassinated the king of Alethkar, Gavilar Kholin, through the use of a mysterious assassin. The assassin in white, who according to rumor, used powers that had not been seen in Roshar for centuries. Due to this assassination, Gavilar's son, Elhokar Kholin, the new king, declared war on the Parshendi, and that's where we kick off in the first book, The Way of Kings. And so we witness these events in the world of Roshar through the eyes of 3 main characters, and also a wide variety of side characters that are much more relevant than you might think at first. Those 3 protagonists are Dalinar Kholin, Shallan Davar, and Kaladin Stormblessed. These 3 start off their journeys in completely different places, each of them having their own demons to face, their own struggles to deal with, their own parts to play in the grand scheme of the plot. But as the story goes on, those paths begin to converge, knowingly or unknowingly, and their journeys begin to intertwine, resulting in a beautiful story filled with mysteries, heroics, and hype. In The Way of Kings, we see all 3 perspectives fairly equally, whether it be the old General Dalinar who wants to become a better person, even this late into his years, or Shallan, a bright young girl with big dreams and a dark past. But as much as I love those characters' arcs in later books, this book, this journey, The Way of Kings, is Kaladin's tale. Kaladin Stormblessed, our broken hero, and my favorite protagonist of all time. Kaladin is the heart and soul of the Stormlight Archive. His character arc, a mesmerizing journey filled with sorrow, pain, hope, and pure, raw hype. His story begins as a slave, because for some reason this brave captain has been sent to the Shattered Plains to pay for the sins of his past. His past that we find out as the story progresses, and slowly but surely we really start to feel for the guy, especially because he constantly deals with depression. Not just sad mopey depression we see in many stories, but a realistic grounded take on this heavy issue. Brandon portrays Kaladin's mental state in a way that truly resonates with the reader, not exaggerating it, but also hitting home really hard. Kaladin is a character who blames himself to no end, always carrying the burdens of others on his shoulders, and in this first book, quite literally carrying those burdens. Kaladin is sent to the battlefront to be a bridgeman, who was to carry these bridges across the plains for hours on end, so that the rest of the army could cross the deep chasms of the Shattered Plains. It is a tough and terrible life. We watch as this defeated guy is constantly faced with hardships, is constantly left hopeless. Yet somehow, some way, the man always gets back up. We watch this broken man as he tries to reforge his life even as a slave, rallying together the other bridgemen in his company, other lost souls like himself, to make the best out of what they have. And even when things get worse, much worse, even when things look impossibly dire for Kaladin, he never gives up. And watching his growth, his failures, his successes, his downfall, his rise, is an experience truly like none other. Kaladin Stormblessed is one of my biggest inspirations, and if there was only one reason I could give you to read this series, it would be to see this man's journey. Every once in a while, I come across a story that transcends the page, something that elicits emotions I didn't know I could feel, and weaves them together in a beautiful symphony. That's what I want all of you to experience as well, so we can all take this one-of-a-kind journey together. And hopefully by the end of it, the Stormlight Archive will leave you with a little quote stuck in your head. A quote that perfectly embodies this masterful tale. Life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination.